Today, I want to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Ken James, and I'm going to say a little about him. Dr. Ken James' area of expertise include dream work and psychoanalysis, divination, and synchronicity, and ways to sustain the vital relationship between body, mind, and spirit. He is a Jungian analyst. Everyone, Dr. Ken James.
Good morning, everyone. It's very nice to be here. Today, I'd like to speak to all of you about looking ahead. Last week, we celebrated Reverend Maurice Coverson's decades-long service to our community. During her tenure, our Logan Square neighborhood has experienced a resurgence of popularity, and the Church of the Spirit played a significant role in that resurgence. We reminded everyone that here in Chicago is where spiritualism as an official religion was established. We honor with gratitude our ancestors in spiritualism, and although she will still be of service to our church, we thank Reverend Maurice for bringing us to this point in our church's history. We're now serving communities far beyond Logan Square because we can now reach out through our virtual services. Today, the Church of the Spirit turns its gaze to the future. We are excited about the new initiatives we will foster as we continue to serve the diverse community we are a part of. Our church's diversity, which includes families from many cultural backgrounds and a multitude of languages spoken among our congregation, is what makes us unique and valuable. We are all part of this vibrant, diverse group, and each one of us is an integral part of our church's fabric. Not surprisingly, many communities of color find comfort in spiritualism because of our reverence for our ancestors and our loved ones in spirit. Pastor Maurice invited many ministers from the African diasporic community to participate in our services and bring us messages from spirit. Many communities of color are represented here at our services, as well as Western European descendants who were founders of the Church of the Spirit. When I first came to this church, I was struck by the warmth that greeted me. I remember talking with Cher Dial shortly after I began to attend services, and she said, "I came for spiritualism, but I stayed because of this community." I could not agree more. Even though I may not be in the pews often, I still feel I'm a member of this vibrant, diverse group, now stretching across the world. So how do we move forward? We will at some point have a new pastor and likely associate pastors to take up Reverend Maurice's work and bring it to new generations, new families, and new ways of understanding our connection with spirit. Since spiritualism is not considered a mainline religion in our culture today, it will be vital that we keep our voices heard amid the clamor that at this time seems to be creating a monolithic religious landscape in our land. As spiritualists, we are well positioned to assert the value of diversity in spirituality and worship, and will continue to do so. The diversity of our board, church staff, and community are all essential elements in maintaining an ecumenical, open, and affirming approach to faith. Our commitment to diversity is unwavering, and it is this diversity that makes us strong and resilient. Spiritualists claim that there is no death and there are no dead. We move from the plane of matter to the plane of spirit upon making our transition. This message will be necessary to uphold and broadcast as the world moves more and more into a deep attachment, perhaps an addiction, to materiality, with a concurrent disregard for the integrity of the individual and the equality among all people, among all sentient beings, in fact, before what we call infinite intelligence. Spiritualism teaches that even if we have behaved poorly, the possibility of changing always remains open to us, whether here on the earth plane or in the spirit world. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed, either here or hereafter, is the eighth principle in our Declaration of Principles, which we recite aloud weekly. There is no eternal damnation in the religion of spiritualism. There is also no final judgment, although our spirit companions continually teach us how to be better people to ourselves and to each other. This eighth principle, so crucial for the world today, was interpreted by Joseph Whitwell, the third president of the National Spiritualist Association of Churches, as follows. He said, "We disregard entirely the terrible, wrong, and illogical teachings of eternal damnation, and in place thereof we accept and present for consideration of thinking people the thought of the continuity of life beyond the change called death. A natural life where the opportunity for growth and progress to better, higher, and more spiritual conditions are open to all, even as they are here on the earth plane of life. We accept no teaching such as a hellfire, but we do teach that sin and wrongdoing will necessarily bring remorse and suffering that would be difficult to describe in words, and which can only be relieved by the individual's own efforts, if not here, then in the hereafter. If we make our own lives better while here, and that of our neighbors happier, we shall unfold that happiness, or heaven on earth, which we shall carry with us into the spirit world. With this message as our mission, let us move into the next phase of our history with a clear vision and awareness of our responsibility to spirit, each other, and the world. Thank you.